live?
Are we live?
No notification yet.
Oh, I think so. I think we are.
There we go. Yep.
Make sure. Are we live?
Christian, why do you have 7 Twitter accounts?
Oh, there, it looks like we're live. Are we live?
Yeah, you must be.
Oh, hey.
There we go. All right. Whoa.
Sorry, I was sharing personal
go.
information. I don't want to catch that on stream. I'm just trying to make a tweet. On my way.
We
All
made
right.
a post.
No, I mean a tweet. Sir.
I mean an X. You're making an X. Exit. Zeet. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. New year, new ETH van. A lot of familiar faces, a few new ones. Thanks for coming out, everybody. One thing we wanted to just like throw at we usually do this on Thursday. We're thinking about moving it to Wednesday.
No. No.
Yeah. So we might have to just because there's a venue above us and it gets a little bit noisy. But we're going to maybe test it out, but just like a little heads up for people that we might think about moving Wednesday. We might try it again next Thursday.
Who would be okay with that with their hands up?
Yeah,
Thoughts
who
on-
would, yeah, yeah.
Thoughts on Tuesday?
Pardon?
Tuesday?
Angle can't do Tuesday.
No, Tuesdays, no way.
Wednesdays are
yoga
very
day.
hard.
That's my yoga
yoga
day,
day.
man. I only get
Wednesdays are
one
tough.
day a week. I need it. You guys are on your own then if you do a Tuesday. Yeah, okay. That's just something, just wanted to gauge some sentiment from that. But
Who here would prefers to do this on Thursday? Really good.
Like Wednesdays are impossible.
Not a
for
whole
me.
lot of Thursdays mega fans, as you can see.
No.
Who would prefer
Yeah,
a Wednesday to Thursday? All right, nobody wants either of those days. You guys don't want to be here right now.
See, so like Thursday has mega fans, Wednesday doesn't.
Wednesday had no fans at all.
Yeah.
So I think that probably stick with Wednesdays. I'm not gonna ask what the other days.
Yeah, so like, is there anyone here
Tapping
who's a
red.
mega fan of Wednesdays?
more. Boom, boom, boom.
Radney doesn't count.
Nobody.
Power.
Yeah.
Pet. Hit.
Okay.
Ultra.
Hmm?
You know how
Yeah.
much?
No,
what
there's
do you mean?
there's a mega
We
fan
get
right
like
there.
10 votes for each of us, actually.
All right.
How we doing?
Okay. I think we're
Hello.
just kind of tweaking our audio here. We've got
Okay.
some new audio stuff going on here. Yeah, we're working. That's why we're figuring it out.
Exactly. I think band
just.
just adds to the vibe of the place, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of dope, you know.
It's kind of nice.
Just test it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it Jazzy's
No, not
mic?
tonight. I don't think because
I
they're
think
they're
Dave's-
locked up
Dave's cooking
upstairs
it.
still,
Dave's
so-
cooking.
Did anyone see anybody up
I
there?
think-
I think bands are
I
great.
think we're good tonight.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
We're just about ready to go,
Hello?
everybody.
No,
we're just
I
about
know,
ready.
but what's your number or your letter?
Oh, is
What's
this
your
here?
letter?
This one here is way
Below
down.
your thumb.
Whose is that? I
So
just turned it
Jazzy's
up.
is D.
Who's
wrong
got
frequency.
A? Who has A?
I'm an A. Christian is A.
Oh, it's a bad red light. We don't like that red light. Okay.
Okay. I think this is probably good.
More better? More better now?
Jazzy, you want to say something again?
Hello.
Oh, we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we override each other.
Yeah. Okay. So we're good?
I think we're
so.
good.
We're cooking.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll with it. Okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah, take it away,
Did you have
Christian.
more to say? You just wanted to talk about Wednesdays. That's it.
Yeah, I just wanted to just bring up the Wednesday thing and make
Okay.
sure you mint your PO app tonight.
Yeah.
Mint your PO app. We're eventually going to start doing draws. Like, I'm straight up going to do draws. So
why don't
when you
we,
collect your
why don't
PO
we
app-
actually why don't we do one just like we keep saying we will?
Yeah, so okay, that's what's gonna happen. Mint your PO app tonight. The people who are in this audience, everybody here should mint the PO app. So then there's no excuse when there's a draw coming up and you're like, oh, I didn't know about the draw. Oh, I gotta register for the draw. At least you had a PO app. If you don't have any, you can have one tonight, then you can at least be a part of the draw. And we'll make something happen. So if you don't know what the PO app is, if you don't understand, come ask me. But there's literally, see what Radney's doing right now? There's literally a little card in that little black poster with the little POAP sign. You tap your phone on it with the NFC, and it's going to mint you a POAP. You just have to have either your Ethereum address, your ENS is ideal, or you can put in your email, and then when you get your Ethereum address later, when you get to it, then you can do with it there. Anyways, if you got questions, ask me afterwards. All right, that's all I got to say. Oh, if you got questions during the show, put your hand up and we'll get you a microphone.
Because
this
we're
is
streaming it.
we're streaming, yeah, to all the so that everybody can at home can hear your lovely voice and your lovely questions. All right, Happy New Year. Go ahead, Christian.
Anything else? Any other news you want to share?
Straight to you.
Okay, crap. I was still thinking about what I was going to say, so I was hoping that went on longer. Hey, everyone. Good to see you here again. Happy New Year. My name's Christian. For those of you who are new, I guess you know my name now. And I don't know. I hope to put on these events, or do this every Thursday. We do this every Thursday. And yeah, I hope to see you again. If it's your first time, and if it's not your first time, I also hope to see you again. Who do we got here? Yo, Ethan. Okay, should we do like intros? Is that cool? Or actually, Adrian here is the original founder of Ethereum Vancouver.
This iteration. Apparently, there was one like 6-7 years ago.
No, that doesn't. I don't think that counts.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Classic. Yeah.
That's a different chain, sir. Yeah, so it's nice to have Adrian here. He's been like traveling Asia. We get some feedback on the mic. And yeah, it's been a while since he joined us for a panel, I think. So it's going to be pretty awesome to hear his amazing insights as he is working with the Ethereum Foundation. Who better to tell us about what's going on in the world of Ethereum than this man here? We've got Jazzy, smart contract auditor, security genius, guru extraordinaire. Really smart guy, probably smartest guy I know. No offense to like other smart people in here. And and then we got Owen here in the sweet Honda hat.
Not a MAGA hat.
Easily unmistakable. Owen's got all kinds of things going on. Most recently, doing some crazy like hyper trading strategies. You can talk more about what you're doing if you want to, because it's like.
Yeah, just trade.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I basically had. I just wanted to make sure I was doing it justice.
Julian, whenever you want to hop on too, let me know. I'm taking your place right now.
Bro, he's working, man. He's doing BD right now. Look at this. Okay. Cool. So I guess we'll talk about crypto in 2025, because that's what we called the name. The name of the event was Crypto 2025. So talk about what we're excited about coming up in this year. Should be a big year for all of us in the crypto scene. No, it's been a long time coming. We've been through a lot of pain and suffering. I think this might finally be our year. So fingers crossed. Yeah. Cool. Should we maybe start with Adrian, and let's actually have you tell us what you're most excited about in the world of Ethereum or crypto, or something somewhat related? Or
So I think from just the top of my head, I guess a little bit more context. These days I work for the Ethereum Foundation, but specifically doing ZK educational events. Sometimes Owen helps out. We're actually doing a workshop here next month, on February 8th and 9th.
here?
Actually, just down the street, we're gonna rent a bigger space.
It's not big enough.
It's like
That's crazy.
I mean, it's gonna be 9 hours for 2 days straight. So a little bit more sunlight might be helpful.
February 8th and 9th?
8th and 9th, targeting specifically. Actually, we have at least half the spots are carved out for students. So if you guys know any math or computer science students at colleges or university, or even high school, if they're interested in the mathematical foundations of ZK, cryptography, send them my way. We're gonna post a couple links probably in a week or so, and then probably mention it again later on. So I'm excited about that. Obviously, like you said, price wise. I don't know. Did you say price? But
No, I mean, we don't talk about price up here.
we don't. Yeah, no price talk. But the more the better, right? So, obviously, What's that? What's the what?
What's
Oh, the
what's
ticker,
the ticker?
is ETH.
Hey.
For those who were not aware, not ETC, not ETC. You might have some of those still, but no. But I think I'm actually quite excited about the fact that Gensler is going to be gone. I think that's huge. I think we're going to get some, I'm fingers crossed, but we get some staking ETFs, ETH staking ETFs across the border that can really change things. Maybe ETH as a treasury asset as well for like nation states. That could be interesting. Those things I think are huge potential drivers for like ETH to 10K, ETH to 20K, maybe even more.
50K.
Yeah, too low, right? Exactly. But anyway, that's kind of the summary off the top of my head for what I'm looking forward to.
All right, so we got this sweet event happening here in Vancouver, and Gensler is getting fired, and price is gonna go up. Okay, 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Jazzy, same question to you. What are you excited about in 2025 in your job or in the crypto industry broadly?
I mean, is price going up? Like I thought the cycle
Ad-
stopped 2 days
Adrian,
ago. I thought so.
It's a super cycle, right?
Price is actually going down. I don't know if you noticed.
Like, Adrian, I feel
know.
like you're
I see the number
contradicting
in the
the
corner there. I'm like, oh, that's lower than I thought.
Word on the street, a cycle has stopped. 3 days ago. We're done. Like we should all come back in 2028, 27. Apart from that, I mean, in the past month, I think we've all seen the surgence of AI in crypto. More specifically, AI agents and just general use case of scam AIs in crypto. For the most part, they're not really really AI. It's a Python bot that talks to LLM. And it's like it's my AI agent, which again for the people that believe in it, it's great. But I don't know how I feel about them longer term. It just feels like they're trying to do something valuable. They're like, how can we just mix AI and crypto? And the easiest way is just to like, hey, what if I just have AI write tweets and tweet about crypto with a token backed by a DAO?
Has to have a token.
It is fully cryptalized. It is
So
fully
you-
crypto.
So I will say that we had a very similar discussion where we were very like bearish on AI agents on this very stage, like maybe like a month or so ago. And if we had just bought the AI tokens, we wouldn't even be here because we'd be like on a yacht right now. But
no, like I'm saying, like tech wise or whatever, but price wise, I think they're up only. Like crypto AI, I think is the future of crypto. Like I think I do think. Like in terms of the number going up, it is literally it's the future of crypto. Like it needs to be the pinnacle of what crypto does in this cycle.
So
What bags are you holding right now?
yeah.
Not many for
Well,
crypto. I mean, so
what's
like
your favorite AI agent?
I don't actually hold any AI agents. I've had like the head of growth at Zelig, Kaushik. He has been pushing crypto to me for the past like 8 months. I've been just pushing him up, being like, no, this is not real. And it surprisingly has, he has made a lot of money. I have not. Apart from that, what else? I'm excited about, ZK and AI, more specifically ZKML.
Yeah.
I think ZKML was a big thing last year. A lot of new frameworks came out, then it sort of died. I think with the resurgence of AI and crypto, I think ZKML is the next step where they can combine ZK, AI, and crypto. And you can have AI agents which are ZK proven to write the tweets.
Yeah.
Would that not be even better?
Yeah, you can maybe do that with small LLMs right now.
Yeah.
It's just the sizing issue, right? Like I played around with a lot with that last year as well and did some ZKML with inference, and it was pretty restricted, but it has grown a lot, and I haven't seen it been used in the last few months even with this.
Yeah. I mean, the color ZKML libraries have been getting progressively a lot better. Like I remember last year, we could barely run like a simple ImageNet on it.
Yeah.
And now we can run smaller LLMs on it. So they have gotten like significantly better over the past year. I don't think there's a lot of hype around them, but if crypto AI keeps, like is like the thing that people are so interested in. I think leveraging ZK into it to actually make it really trust us would be the next step.
I'm curious, what frameworks have you been looking at recently?
Which what was the one by Jason?
EasyCal.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love EZKL. But like I've only tested it a few months ago. And
Yeah.
I think it was like I mean the first time I tested it was like a year and a half ago, back in sometime 23, like March, April.
Yeah.
And over the next like year and a half, I think it has gotten a lot better.
Yeah. Oh, they're crazy team.
They're insane.
What makes it better than any other?
I mean, the other frameworks, I just like EZKL just seems very easy to
They're-
use. I can just plug and play things, and it just works.
It's-
Everything else is like, here's a 20-step instructions on how to like compile your model into
Yeah.
this weird thing and to use it.
And then there's like Modulus Labs, but I don't think they have a framework. They're just like specific use cases
Yeah.
that they develop in house, so you can't really use it. Yeah.
What else? I think app chains are going to be the new thing as well. Cosmos, at least from our side, we do a lot of audits, and we have seen a lot of increased demand for Cosmos in the past like 8 to 10 months, and I think that is only increasing over the next year. So, after Hyperliquid launched, people realized, app chains are great because, I can have my app chain do a very good thing very well. So why don't, why are all the apps that are like big apps, why don't we be an app chain? I feel like people have realized they can just be app chains and, launch. So why are we on some other chain when we can be an own chain and accrue the value as an L1? Hence, there will be a lot more Cosmos, I think.
You have to have a pretty good app, though.
Yeah. I mean, you have to have a good app, but like even if the app is like mediocre, the value of the app on like a other chain versus an app chain is generally higher unless you label it as a Cosmos chain, in which case it's lower.
Yeah.
Or an L2. Like you want your like app chain to be labeled as a L1, even though you can use Cosmos, just don't use the word Cosmos in the branding at all. And that will increase the valuation at least by 5x.
What?
Why L1 app chains and not L2 app chains?
Why L1 app chains? Because people like to invest in the base layer. L2s are like L2s feel like a secondary layer to something that already exists. So like when you have an L2, you're still dependent on the base layer to settle on it. So in a way, you're still accruing part of your value to the L1. If you just launch an L1 yourself, all the value is captured by you. And like L1s historically just have higher multiples on like whatever revenue they do over like an L2, just due to the fact that they're like independent and a separate L1. Everyone wants to, be the next L1 because L1s are the ones that get much bigger than L2s. Yeah.
All right. So we're excited about AI, kind of ZK, and app chains. Sweet. All right. Those are some cool things. And Owen, besides those super cool things, what are you excited about?
I think hopefully we'll see what happens with regulation. I feel like it could lead to maybe more memes and just kind of valueless things, unless we've already passed that with this kind of last cycle. So I really hope that we get into more actually meaty applications that have something behind them and it's not just all narrative. I think particularly, I think I talked about it on our last panel as well, but like payments would be really cool to see. I know Coinbase is working on this with their, I believe it will be through their wallet app, but they got approval to use essentially like Apple Pay credit card system. So you could pay with crypto anywhere, or maybe like NFC tap a signature, which would be really cool, because I think that's one area that still is not really being used. Increase a lot of the use, like adoption, specifically because like we have a lot of other currencies as well, devaluing, and US dollar seems to be great. So if you can
For
pay
now.
with USDC or ETH or Bitcoin and have it convert into the value that you want to pay with something, that would be sweet. Obviously, there's a lot of hurdles because this credit card infrastructure is just so big right now, and it's hard to get around that with good UX. But I would say that's one of the things.
Yeah, I mean, after we become the 51 state of US, I think we'll just adopt US dollars as a currency.
Yeah, that's
so
true. Yeah,
There's no
that as
devaluing
well.
there.
No, don't even speak it into existence because like, the more you talk about it, the more likely it is to happen.
People are gonna take this recording and say, "See, Canadians do want it."
Look at the guy with the MAGA hat, right?
Yeah, make Canada great again.
No, I think prefer to stay Canadian.
Yeah, it's cool to like be like.
Yeah, I mean, you can still be. It's like how the Texas people are Texans. You can just still be Canadians.
Yeah.
Not be part of America.
No. I like that we have to like pledge allegiance to King Charles to be part of our country. It's pretty important to me. On payments, say that like the hurdles around like the incumbents was not an issue. Like, how would you see that adoption taking place? Are we using like base chain for all, like the global transaction network, or like you said, Bitcoin? Like, what are people actually using if this was live today and like a mass scale?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Bitcoin, unless I'm not familiar with how the are kind of working now, but the infrastructure probably isn't there or is a little more centralized in order to make that happen. It would be really cool to see it on Ethereum or any chain that's sufficiently decentralized. Like,
How many are there actually?
guys,
Is it like with one or two?
Like if you're talking about payments, I think we're missing the main chain that does payments, Ripple.
yeah.
Oh, are we all just using XRP?
No.
Yeah, like
No.
XRP is replacing Swift. Did you guys not hear that?
We've been hearing this, just
7
for the
years
past
ago.
like 10 years.
Yeah, but XRP has gone up 5x in the past 6 months, so it's much more likely now.
But
right, much more likely. Yes.
I would like to be able to hold a currency that I think is backed by more than just that. So, like, if I can hold Ethereum, which has this ecosystem behind it, and a kind of a value, it's built its value. I would like to use that as my holdings and kind of pay with that. Or I think Bitcoin, like as a store of value, is a great, great thing, and like that would be great to use. Just might be harder to do that. We can do wrapped BTC or something, but or even just USDC,
So
whatever.
It's
I'm
gonna
just-
USDC on base for sure.
Yeah,
probably.
I will just pipe up here because like the Lightning people are probably going absolutely insane right now, being like, "It's the Lightning Network." I don't think the Lightning scales far enough as much as we need it to right now. And in like a non-custodial way.
Yeah.
If we want to look at Lightning as custodial, and I think that's how we should start thinking about Lightning and get excited about it in that way. Thinking about it like, we look at what are the biggest payment processors in the world right now. We have Visa, MasterCard, those types of things.
Ripple.
Ripple. Ripple is a close third, definitely a close third. But you have those things that are completely centralized systems, but they work great, and you have recourse, and you have you have guaranteed payment. You have a lot of like guarantees for a merchant. It's a fantastic solution, right? Yes, you're paying for it. You just pass that on to the customer. And so if we start thinking about this with Lightning and being like, okay, well, this can be a way for us to, okay, we're going to give up custody. We know what we're getting ourselves into with this. But maybe there's centralized systems. Now we can have recourse, because in order to close that channel out, we need to give it like a challenge window and saying, just like we have with Microsoft.
So I think the argument there is like, it would be great to have crypto as the closest alternative to cash. Because like if you go somewhere and you spend cash, you don't have any guarantee that you're going to get that back. Right. You would kind of have that same thing with crypto. I mean, you could also develop infrastructure that would allow for like cancel transactions and stuff. But I think that having it as an alternative to cash is easy to argue because you have a lot of the same behaviors with crypto.
Agreed.
I mean, yes, but like, isn't it like a lot of people don't prefer cash because of that? They're like, I can use a card because
But-
I can do a chargeback.
So I would argue that it's not necessarily that is the like benefit of using cards. I would say that the convenience of not having to carry cash is the big reason for using cards. And that more like businesses don't want to hold cash. They want to use cards because it is easier to use. But I wouldn't say that it's like the like a chargeback system is necessarily the biggest argument for why to use a card over cash.
Yeah, I would also agree with that. And I mean, the chargeback part of it, it's more just like ensuring payment, right? You know, if you're getting paid through MasterCard or Visa, you're good to go. However, with crypto, it's pretty straightforward because it's like, well, you literally have either get paid or you don't. It's not like, well, maybe there's this system that might work or not. It's like literally, did it hit your wallet? Yes. Okay, there's no chargebacks.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, we start building systems that could provide chargebacks and whatnot. And that's a whole different ball of wax. But
yeah, and like first step, okay, I'm just gonna do $5 transactions. I don't really care if this is like I have that knowing that I'm not going to get it back if I order something on some Chinese website or any like some sketchy website.
Are you saying Chinese websites are sketchy?
No. It's just any like sketchy website. Okay, I'm not going to use crypto unless I know that I could lose it. Like maybe just making people aware that these are the guarantees with this kind of system, and you can really use that cash as an example. So
I think you're right with like whether it's one of these L2s. I mean, that's like base. They're really pushing for that, right? Like that makes sense. They're already doing it with like, you know, coffee payments and whatnot, right? They're really.
The other thing is like with that. So I've mentioned this before as well, but I think that the biggest thing is like NFC payments because everybody in North America and Europe and a lot of places use like tap to pay. Gaining access to that part of like Apple Pay is just impossible unless you have millions and millions of dollars to do this development, get these approvals from Apple. So it's really difficult to do this on your own. So you do need a large company like Coinbase to be able to do this. I don't see like anybody else necessarily popping up unless they pave the way for it to make it more open. So I do think that it probably is going to be USDC on base. They also have like a lot of partnerships. Like there's a coffee shop down the street. You can pay with USDC. But the UX is not there for the tap to pay. Hoping that comes in 2025.
Cool. Anything besides payments that is on the top of your mind?
Maybe just friendlier regulation. Like if I want to start a company in crypto, I don't have to go over to BVI and Cayman and Dubai and whatever to be able to like. I know what the rules are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you think this like originally comes from? So okay, we have the U.S. with like a new administration that looks like they're going to be much friendlier towards crypto, and then we also kind of on the other side of like government, we have in Vancouver recently we voted to allow or to I don't know, become a Bitcoin friendly city. It wasn't like too clear like. We're not necessarily investing in Bitcoin yet, but like we're exploring how we can like integrate Bitcoin into the city. So I guess between those things, like how do you think like what are like some of the more immediate effects we start to see with this friendlier regulation?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be still a very long battle. Like that, you still have many members of Congress or just political figures that are very against it, and also a lot of like everyday people are. I mean, recently with our new meme cycle, it's just people losing money. Retail, it kind of gets screwed. And we're going to have a lot of that. I feel like it's probably at the start going to be more of that. But I think it's just a continuous thing that, like, hopefully this, in the U.S., this administration kind of moves the needle a little bit further. And I think it will be just a long time because new technology, it takes a long time for a lot of people to kind of understand it.
Adrian, I have a question. since you've been spending a lot of time in Asia, like how is like I guess adoption or regulation over there? Has the stuff in the U.S. impacted how things are going over there at all?
I really don't think much has been impacted on the Asia side, to be honest. Like I really don't think that they're moving that fast on anything. Like at the end of the day, I think the U.S. has like a lot of power politically and soft power in terms of regulation. Like if the SEC has like these new rules or the FTC, if the U.S. government does something, then like let's be honest, all the other countries in the world watch that, and if it's like, oh, they're willing to do that, then maybe I can do that too to make my country more attractive to other people. And this is different from like El Salvador doing it. Is very different from the U.S. doing it. Obviously, right? The scale is much bigger. There's like certain guarantees that you would get. Like okay, if the U.S. is doing it, it can't be. I was gonna say it can't be batshit insane, but I take that back. I think like it just sets a precedent that the U.S. would have had some people look into what is kind of some like reasonable regulations. And speaking towards Coinbase as well, I think Brian Armstrong, they do a really good job in engaging with the government and trying to like, hey, like, they operate in the U.S. and they just want something that works for everyone. Like no one. I don't think like most people in this room or like probably most people at Coinbase like want more scams to happen, right? Like we just want to have the self-sovereignty to be able to do like regular things, right? Not buying nukes or sending money to ISIS. We just want our coffee and like you know what I mean? Like it's not that much to ask, right? But I think that it would have to happen in the US first before anything happens in Asia. There are certain things that crop up in Asia a lot, like there are alt L1s that like you've never heard of. There's L2s you've never heard of. Sometimes you scroll through L2P and sometimes you see like, what the fuck is this? A lot of times those are like very localized things, which is cool. They can people learn about different maybe like EVM or maybe other VMs as well. So that's quite interesting. Speaking more towards the USDC payment thing. One thing I thought was quite interesting was in Taiwan, the Ethereum community there, which by the way is the oldest Ethereum meetup. Everyone there has moved on to using Dymo, which is like a Venmo.
Yeah.
USDC
I've used Dymo
on
as well.
base, right? So, and it's great because I believe they're still giving $10 free for every person that you invite.
What's your invite code?
Well, I've invited too many people, but I can invite people for sure.
Yeah,
we should set up a
great way to,
decontrol
like,
one. We should have like decontrol ref links.
We
Yeah,
totally
that's
should
what
do
we
that.
should do,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely,
Yeah, so like I think like I was really impressed when I went there. Like there was like dinner with like 10 people, and then everyone was just like Dymoing each other afterwards, and it's just USDC on base. Gas is all paid for, and apparently like I don't know if they still do this thing, but like apparently if you can get like 40 people together, they'll pay for the whole dinner if everyone like installs Dymo.
Yeah.
I was trying to like get that to happen here, but I don't know if that offer is still on the table. I don't know if anyone's watching. But
If anyone wants,
but I think one thing
let
about
us know.
traveling is that like you kind of notice like these little pockets of activity where like like it's like, hey, they've been doing that for like last 6 months, and then a lot of people here maybe just only first heard of it like today, right? So yeah, it's a good question. Like there's always interesting things no matter where you go.
Singapore accepts USDC on Sol with Grab.
On Solana.
Oh, for like
such
Grab.
such like a random assortment of
Oh,
things.
interesting.
Huh.
Why? Do you know why? Can someone get this man a mic?
Yeah, I mean, Grab has a whole Web3 section in the app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like a whole exchange or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like you can do quite a bit of things in Web3 on the super app of Grab. It's very interesting.
Well, the concept of super apps doesn't exist in North America, but Asia has mastered it.
Super apps are great.
Yeah.
Very convenient. But then
X,
the
sorry.
thought of one company owning your Uber, owning your social media, owning your everything is kind of
payments and all that.
I don't know. But they should experiment with that.
Make it a DAO.
Yeah, maybe they'll DAO one day. Who knows?
No. Just have it run by
Grab
AI.
DAO.
We can have it run by
benevolent
AI.
dictatorship.
Oh yeah, which AI agents are going to be running the super app. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it.
Like all the arbitration is done by ZK proven AI
Yes.
on an app chain.
on an app chain.
Yeah.
Not on Cosmos, but on Cosmos.
Yes. X.
Kinda, yes.
X
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be
X
the-
is gonna have payments. Yeah, X is probably gonna be a super app too. Sort of thing. It's got AI built in already. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
On that note, What is actually bullish is Circle's wallet SDK for apps, which they're pushing for things like Uber and shit like that.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
What's that's gonna look like? So like, is that literally for like apps to be able to have it so that I'm gonna be able to pull up my, like I'll be able to use my wallet through like those
No,
kind
no,
of
it's
apps?
for like self-hosting wallets on an app, so you can create a wallet for like crypto to pay with.
So
So
like,
your Uber account now has a crypto wallet.
right, okay,
you
so
can
like
pay
account,
with.
like a account abstraction privy type thing,
Kinda.
sort of thing, where I
Yeah.
literally could just send it to that address and it's just in that account.
Yep.
So I can load it
You're
up.
funding your Uber account with
There it is.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Actually,
magic
that's,
internet
yeah,
money.
That's kind of dope, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, they get rugged. It's like, well, okay, it took my $50 or whatever I had in the account, but interesting. Okay.
That's cool.
Actually, just to remind us here. So we had somebody asking, say, would love to hear more about ZK privacy since we have Sir Adrian in the house. If there's
Sir
anything,
Adrian.
honestly,
if there's
like, a lot
anything
of times-
breakthrough or experiments that we should be paying attention to.
I actually
Ooh.
feel like Owen knows more about like the latest tech. He follows that a little bit closer. I'm just more, organizing events in the back. I think like honestly, like tech wise, like there's always new things like getting better and things like that. Like there's nothing that really stands out to me like that's gonna like change the whole landscape, right?
No, not
yeah.
really. There's
Will
a lot of
ZK get added to Ethereum roadmap?
Well,
Or
the
like to
roadmap,
it is on
actual
there.
It is.
no,
It's
to
been on there
actual
for a long
Ethereum.
time.
Yeah, but like that's 2050. Is it gonna be pushed before or
I thought it was 2070, you know?
exactly?
higher, sir.
3070, right? I really don't know, to be honest. I think it's definitely on the roadmap. Like, a lot of people are thinking about it. Definitely the core researchers, core devs are always thinking about that side of things. I think it just takes time.
Yeah.
Like,
And so, actually, yeah, something that popped up in my feed today that I was like, oh, that's interesting. There's an EIP where you could essentially burn your ETH, but you send it to some address that you prove that nobody has, or a shadow address or something. So you could, sorry. Yeah, so you can essentially make a transaction that looks like you're sending ETH to a new address, and nobody else can basically tell that it's burnt. But you can generate a proof that you burnt it, and doing that, you could like mint new ETH to a new wallet. So it's essentially a way that you have privacy. So if I want to send ETH to a new wallet privately, I would take my ETH that's in my wallet, send it to this address, and I generate a proof that this address actually has no private key or it's inaccessible. And then I can provide that proof on a new address and say, hey, this happened. I'm not going to tell you what address it was, but I should be able to mint ETH now. And I have a brand new fresh wallet with fresh ETH in there that I minted. And so there's no, basically that connection, I provided that, but it's hidden on chain.
so if everyone uses like the 0x debt account and everyone sends it there, that means like that account becomes a new Tornado Cash, kind of.
Kind of, but you wouldn't necessarily need to all send it to the same address. You can create this random
It
address.
could be like anywhere that there's
Is
no
that
private
correct,
key.
Yoni?
Yeah.
Basically,
We'll get,
that there's no private key there.
Yeah, like you can just generate randomness and prove that the private key is like non-existent for a random address.
Ah, okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I thought when I read it, it was slightly different than that, but I don't like the amounts. I don't like the amounts being able to be correlated on either side. But I thought it was at like a time delay. Like you don't have to. You can create that proof and burn, and then you can
Yeah.
have a long delay so your anonymity pool increases before you remit. Yeah. So you want to, you don't want to stand out, right? You want to be in a range that everyone else is using.
Yeah, I mean, you can
so-
probably extend the EIP to do almost like you can do multiple burns and then mint them at the same time, as how we do it in like, oh,
So you can do like Nova, basically.
yeah.
Are you talking the
Yeah.
the shell game? Are you talking decoy outputs?
I mean, you could,
Monero
yeah,
has that.
basically how Zcash is like you can just have a joint split of like all of the burns together and then just mint them at a single
Or-
output, so you can't really see which inputs were used in the output.
Or something like Nova, where you mint less ETH than you burnt, and like, yeah,
These are all great ways to improve that
Yeah.
EIP.
Yeah.
yeah. But I think in general, like, those are kind of just technical implementations. But having this privacy on, I don't know if it would ever get added to L1.
Having
But
like this kind of transaction type
yeah,
that interacts with. the
But
supply-
what is it needed to
supply
be
of the native
EIP?
asset. All right, go ahead.
But what is it needed to be an EIP? It can be just like a.
it can just be an application. Somebody could make like a wrap to ETH that you send and do whatever with. I just saw it. Somebody made an EIP for it.
I mean, you can have an application, but applications will then get OFAC sanctioned. Yeah, but in this case, you will have to OFAC sanction the whole chain. It seems more annoying, especially if there's an ETF behind the chain. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was an interesting ZK thing that I saw recently. I mean, a lot of it is just technical advancements in the infrastructure. Like, I don't know if I've seen a lot of people have talked about like ZK TLS, which I think is kind of bullshit.
TLS is made up.
Yes, it is made up. But yeah, long story short is that it's not a fully trustless system, but you can essentially make a request to any sort of Web 2. Like I can Google something and I can generate a proof that this was the results that Google gave me. But it's not fully trustless, so it's not directly ZK. It uses a little bit of ZK. But that's something that's kind of getting, a lot of people are getting more excited about it because you can do things like Opacity Network is somebody that's working on this. ZK P2P is another person that's working on this, or groups that are working on this. With Opacity Network, they kind of do like, what is it? What's the vampire attacks on like centralized services. So like if you wanted to create a decentralized Uber and you're a fresh user, but you've been using Uber for 2 years and you want to like prove that you have this record of good behavior and like ratings and stuff, you could like bridge this into 3. Still very difficult because it's, as I said a few times, not fully trustless. You still have to trust a party, but that's another thing in that.
I mean, you would trust a party, but instead you can trust a network of parties.
Yes, except for doing MPC with that is like impossible.
I mean, do you need to do MPC there as long as you send your traffic to like 5 different services and they all agree on the output?
I mean, it takes a long time, and the thing is that there's no like. It's very difficult work to build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like I feel like like it loses its like potential when you have to send the data to like a third party to prove it for you. Like ZK TLS can be a thing if we were to modify the TLS, not the spec, but just add like a new type of TLS signatures.
Yeah.
Where, for example, you have sequence numbers, and that solves the whole problem.
Yeah.
I just think that is a much more of a longer term effort than like making an application.
And it's all the parties that would use this, or unless you make it like a global standard that everybody kind of has to use this, you would have to get like Google and Uber and whatever.
You just have to get Cloudflare to do it, and then it's fine.
Cloudflare, yes, you can just make Cloudflare do it too.
Cloudflare do it, and then the whole internet is done with it. They all have to adopt it or not.
That's true. Other ZK things, I don't know. ZKML,
ZK VMs.
ZK VMs, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like ZK VMs have become popular in the past year. They're like pretty useful. You can prove arbitrary computation. I think that gives you a very good base primitive to build a lot of things. Like previously, you would have to write circuits. Now you don't.
I'd be very interested in. I thought about building this at one time, but I don't have the capacity to. But a centralized exchange, it's all verified. These are all the transactions that have happened.
Interesting.
But like a ZKVM app chain for exchange, I guess.
But like, if it's why do we need if the centralized exchange is like why don't we just make a decentralized exchange that is a bunch of validators?
Because it's very hard to maintain speed, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe somebody will do it this year. We'll see.
Yes. Interesting idea.
Yeah, somebody build that. Unless somebody's built it already, I don't know.
Mm,
Oh, does it all rely on OPCat?
it all relies on OPCat.
What about any of the other? Because there's like a few Covenant supports or like Covenant opcodes. So CAT's one of them. CTV is another one, and CFSF. Are you following any of those other ones?
I'm just following OPCat, and at least all the papers I've read that are like, hey, we can do like Stark proofs or these proofs or whatever proofs. They all still depend on OPCat being live on the Bitcoin chain before
Right.
they can do proving.
And then what about with like BitVM? Is that anything? Have you followed that? Like there's BitVM version 2, and I think that one doesn't require any upgrades to Bitcoin.
Is
But
that the one where they chain like a weird Merkle state together?
I
or-
don't know. I'm not a gigabrain,
I
so
feel like
can't really say with that
I did
one.
read about it, but it's looked very convoluted.
I think that's the case, but it might be that might have been V1 if it was a while. So V2 I think is like a updated, simpler system, and then the other one was Bitcoin OS. But I'm beginning to think that it's vaporware because they're
Yeah,
aligning.
Bitcoin
with,
OS is made up, I think.
Yeah, and I think they're aligning with Cardano and Charles. So I wanted to meet Yago when it was. Pardon? They're saving Africa. Yes. Yeah. Anyways, I'm just like kind of sus about that one. But those are the three things that have kind of caught my eye. But then BitLayer too is another thing. But I don't know enough about it.
I did see. Did you see that? I'm just realizing now, but I can't search because X search sucks. Eli Ben-Sasson co-authored a paper on ZK proofs on Bitcoin without OPCat, I think. But now I can't find it, so I can't
I
remember.
feel like I heard it's the Stark proofs, right?
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Bitcoin. I did hear about it. I think so. Like Starkware is working very heavily
Yeah.
to basically try to get ZK proofs on Bitcoin, mainly Starks, because like Starkware is like in the right place, the right time to do ZK proofs on Bitcoin. So I think they have been working very heavily, first of all, to get OPCat added, and if not, still somehow trying to get like ZK Starks working on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I did hear about it. I did not read the paper though, so I'm not
No,
sure.
me neither. Some great
Is there
topic.
a question in the back there?
No question, but I don't know what you guys were just saying, but I saw there's this Alpine Labs thing that raised today, and they're like the ZK on Bitcoin.
Alpine Labs?
Yeah, it's like pretty
How
good
much did
capital.
the raise?
8.5 mil strategic round.
Who's their lead?
DBA Crypto and Cyber Fund.
I'm probably made up.
But they got like they got some good angels. Yep. End game for money built on Bitcoin. ZK rollup DevNet.
Game.
End game,
Bullish.
yes. We're in the end cycle.
You just hold on to it. if you
Just
want.
keep it. Just keep it. Good. Any other things you guys want to say about ZK while we're on the topic? Or
I think we covered like all major ZK categories. ZKML, ZKVM,
yeah.
ZK.
I think
just
What
just go.
about TEEs versus ZK? Like you're like a big I'm like a BD guy, but you're a big ZKML AI. But what happens to like TEE AI?
I feel like most of the TU usage that we're trying to do is also made up.
Oh,
It's like, we are trying to like, so like 3 years ago, we had Secret Network
yeah.
that was using TEEs for security. We all know how that, yes, and we all know how that went. They blew up. So like TEEs are like good when you have a very specific constraint that you need privacy for like a small period of time. Like when you need basically ephemeral privacy. So like a small period of time when you're proving like a small order you're sending, need to like make sure that you're not doing bad computation. Sure. Like, but the constraint you want there is like even if your key gets leaked or like whatever private competition you're doing gets halted, gets leaked, it doesn't really affect your business much. It only will cause like a minor damage. So TEs have like a very, very specialized use case for that. Anything that is much more like important. For example, if you are storing your private keys in like
Treasury.
yeah, like if you're storing your treasury key in like a secure enclave, or you're doing like a secure channel communication between some other party and doing computations on your treasury key based on that, I think TEs will not work. It's mainly because most TEs that we have right now, if you get a group of good cracked grad students, spend like 500K, you can probably leak the base key for the TE. For most of them on the market right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like a level of security too. Is like, okay, how much is secured by this TEE? Okay, it's more value than, or like it's easier to just pay and really spend time on it puts a bigger back on TEE, or puts a bigger target on the back of TEEs when they're securing a lot of value as well.
If the profit from corruption is more than 500K, it's like,
yeah,
go take that shit.
Exactly. Like you will have a bunch of grad students from Germany be like, this is a fun side project. And they will get the secret key in 3 months, as we have seen happen like every 3 months for Intel or whatever other company launches a TEE.
I will rebalance my AI infra coins accordingly.
I was also going to say the other, like a lot of the other ZK applications, like ZK IDs or like ZK private voting and stuff, they all require a lot of effort of talking with governments, because a lot of these things are government focused, which is just a lot of like, it's difficult work to do, and it's not necessarily technical. It's not necessarily like, it's just difficult to do. And so I think that will either take a long time, or governments will just say, no, it doesn't really, we don't really care.
I mean, I feel like, ZK payments and USDC are probably a fun use case.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably, if you're replacing cash, if you have, it actually does Dymo, is it ZK? It's not on ZK on the back end, right?
Yeah.
Because the team building that is like ZK native. They're like very good ZK payments. Yeah.
I think, I'm trying to think. I don't think there is ZK capabilities, but maybe.
No, because
they'll add it when it makes sense. But I don't think. I think there's they're a startup. They're just trying to keep it sustainable right now. I think their latest product is like Dymo Pay, which is kind of like a way for people to accept payments, like companies to accept payments and stuff in USDC on base. But other than that, I don't see the adoption there. I mean, I think one of the issues, like we talked about a lot of ZK related things, but realistically, like how soon are those use cases are gonna, is it not like 6 months later we're all gonna be using LMs that are, ZKMLs, right? Like I think that vision is still just so far off.
Yeah, I mean, but the vision of like ZK payments, I feel like can be achieved right now. Is that the only problem is just regulation there, when the government is like, why are you accepting payments from people you don't know?
Yeah.
How are you verifying they're not OFAC sanctioned?
Well, you can make a ZK proof that whoever is a party to it is not on the OFAC list, right? That's like the privacy
pools.
list proofs. Yeah. But I mean, like, there's not enough. I feel like there's not enough demand really for that stuff, right? And that's the kind of issue. Like, we're talking about the ZK ID stuff. This is kind of contrary to like a lot of people in what they think in the EF, but I really don't think governments are going to be the ones to do ZK ID.
No,
there's no benefit, right? There's
yeah.
Like,
there was
no
that
real motive for them.
There was somebody in that, like the BC government was working on using that at some point. It never really took off.
Exactly. That was like, I think quite a few years ago. So
yeah.
I think it sounds cool for some politicians to be like, hey, I'm doing this thing that's good for you guys. But then like realistically, is it going to go anywhere? And like beyond that, let's say they do implement it, is the government going to be able to hire the engineers and keep them there to maintain that system and have that go on, right? Like, I just have like severe doubts. I think where ZK adoption comes mostly is going to be from private industry more than anything else.
Yeah. So WorldCoin is going to rule us. No. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
I mean, but like, don't we all feel that like if we are doing like consumer payments on chain, they would need to be like generally private? If someone is like, buying something or like basically
Yeah.
using consumer
But-
payments anywhere.
Well, like most people use their credit cards here, and they're not private to anyone that works inside Visa or Mastercard, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean, most people that work inside Visa and MasterCard, they directly see your history. It's only like
exactly.
people that have
So-
access.
So like clearly people don't care enough. Is kind of my
Yeah,
issue. Like,
I mean,
I'm very
most of,
pessimistic on
I mean, most
humans.
of the people like, most of the people like they trust Visa and Mastercard and not like leak it to like anyone else.
Right.
Except like the whatever people
So
that have
I
access
think
inside.
what could happen is like, I mean, an interim solution is basically having some kind of like protocol that, I mean, I see what you're saying, but like, there's
Because I feel
not
like
enough motive for people to want it for small payments, especially.
I mean, for small payments.
Like if you're making large payments, then like people would trust like the banks, right? Like if
Yeah.
I'm sending $1 million somewhere else to start an office offshore or something,
But I would prefer to do that with crypto.
I would prefer. We would prefer.
Yeah.
But we're the
I
minority.
prefer to do it privately.
Right. And the kind of bit, like, let's say we do send this kind of money, right? It's small potatoes compared to like how much money like private equity institutions and like there's so much bigger fish out there that can actually move change, that I think a lot of this retail use cases it's great. I want it as well,
Yeah.
but maybe I'm jaded. I just don't think it's gonna
I
be
think
what pushes like adoption of ZK.
I think you either need a founder that builds a good app
Like
and
Brian
then cares
Armstrong,
about
maybe.
ZK,
yeah,
or
yeah.
like cares about the privacy and enough that like maybe it doesn't make you more money, maybe it doesn't make your
Right.
app better to the average consumer, but you want to do that good for humanity, which
Yeah.
is a difficult thing to find. Or hopefully not. You need anarchy, that everything gets hacked and everybody, like normies, kind of realize that, yeah, this isn't good. We need a solution.
I think so one thing I've been thinking about recently, I think, is that the ZK adoption thing is only going to come from enterprise and big businesses, because clearly normal people don't care about the privacy, right? Like you go to the club, you show them that you're over 18 or whatever, over 19, and literally every bouncer you've ever been to, they know your address, they know where you live, they know what your birthday is. That's fucking insane,
Yeah.
right? But no one cares, because I'm sure we've all been to a place where we had to show our ID, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like clearly normal people don't care, but businesses care about, because that's the only way business can make money, information asymmetry, right? Like if I'm like IKEA, I don't want, I don't know, some other furniture company to know how much wood I'm ordering from here and there, right? So I think like it's gonna be like so obscure, and maybe it's very unrelatable to any of us here, but I just feel like most realistically, like the things I've been seeing and hearing, it's gonna take a long time still, but like I think in private industry, B2B enterprise, like the boring shit is where it's gonna happen. And I'll draw an analogy actually, right? Like we only have HTTPS and SSL, not because people wanted privacy, right? It's because the banks wanted to do online banking, right? Because they didn't want to have like all these like tellers, fucking things up all the time, right? So they're like, oh, why don't we push for SSL? Like it's not something that people did out of their good heart, right? It's because big businesses wanted to make a lot of money, and that's why it got pushed.
I think it's also got pushed in an interesting way where, having the block, it makes it secure, which is like, I think it got pushed in a very bad way.
It could, yeah, that's true.
That was good though, overall it was good for the industry.
For sure. Let's encrypt,
So IKEA is going to drive the adoption of ZK.
IKEA, man.
Nice. I
Buy
love
IKEA stock.
Yeah. Does anyone in the audience have anything they're excited about coming up in 2025, or they're interested in, or they want to chat about? Andrew looks like he wants to.
So AI is a big theme of the world. AI, like outside of AI agents, which is a big thing. The Nobel Prize was, everyone was talking about AI at that point. How do you guys feel? Oh, I think Salesforce announced they're not hiring new Swedes anymore in 2025. It's like all AI driven now as their development. So like outside of AI agents, how do you think like AI in general is affecting the Web3, Ethereum industry?
I like just one use case is like chatting with an LLM to like execute blockchain transactions. So like text-based like execution on like intention. Yeah, actual intents like text input intents. Like and for even for like advanced like functionalities, like or setting up like strategies, like ongoing things. I think that'll be really cool. I think that can like go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, Julian, you want to go first?
Go for it.
I'm not adding on, so if you have something.
It's just a request for someone to build if they actually care about building something cool with AI. An AI that marks your on-chain transactions and then basically exports a CSV file for taxes.
You competing with Octave?
Like Octo kind of does it manually, and AI can just kind of scroll and do everything.
Yeah, they're trying to use.
Of course, they're gonna have AI.
They should, otherwise.
No, who
Just-
doesn't have
just
AI? If
tell
you don't have
Matthew
AI,
to do
Doesn't
it.
have AI yet.
like but like who doesn't want AI? AI is like 5x valuation if you use it. So everyone will use
Metaverse.
Gotta have AI.
He was shilling AI integrations when he was here, so.
Yeah, like I thought the whole thing was he just wanted to like get the data so that he could feed the LLM, like how to like make it more better. Yes, more better. Yes.
More better. More better is good.
Yeah. No, good. That would be good. An accountant, AI accountant, or bookkeeper. Another thing that was really interesting was like Noose Research was here. They had a talk on what they were doing. As I am not super deep into AI, so some of it went over my head. But I was able to talk with one of them, and they were basically explaining that what they are doing, and I think there's some other companies doing this as well, but decentralized training that would allow you to compete with something like OpenAI or Meta in order to train new models. They had a solution that makes this more feasible to do using like a form of compression, as far as I understand. But it's very cool to see like decentralization in AI. It's not necessarily crypto, might lead to crypto, but it seemed like this was one of the new groups that are actually making this happen. This was kind of a thing a while back, but it seems like it never really got there because the tech necessarily wasn't there. But I think that would be interesting to see in 2025 as well. If I have like a model and I share it with everybody, okay, let's go train this. It's more of an underground kind of feeling to AI, which is kind of cool.
I just want to add that News, one of their innovations prior to that was taking so-called open source, but not really. It's restricted by a license, right? Like Llama 3, and then fine-tuning it and showing how far you can get with like fine-tuning, not full retraining, but specializing it. And that was the Hermes model and a few others that they've released also, within the license that they're allowed to operate in. So I would like, the lightweight fine training of foundational models that are much larger. That would be very cool. And actually it would make the certain agents that had really good fine tuning like stand out because they'd be a domain expert in some like super niche thing. Like, I don't know, editing Wikipedia.
Editing Wikipedia with fake information.
Removing the fake information.
Making misinformation better.
If you remove the fake information, it would be smaller.
Making better misinformation, more better.
Okay, it sounds like it's getting adversarial, but I'm just gonna have more of them.
So we make Wikipedia smaller, less need for donations, and we can get rid of those ads. Is that what you're saying?
They don't need the donations, actually. I was looking at like Wikipedia has like a lot of money actually.
Yeah.
Like So yes. And most of the people who like all of the Wikipedia contributors don't make any money contributing to Wikipedia actually.
Uh-huh.
And they are they make money like as an organization. Like they don't
I mean, Wikimedia
2025.
No, like Wikimedia.
Decentralized Wikipedia.
I mean, like Wikimedia Foundation has like 500 million treasury.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have a shit ton of money.
Give
Like-
some to the Internet Archive. Yeah. Shift it over. Yeah, yeah. AI replacement. Well, OpenAI is apparently AGI coming.
Wait. Is this why Meta fired all their like fact checkers? They're replacing them with AIs. They have community notes.
Oh.
AI fact checkers.
Getting replaced with the same program that Twitter uses with community notes. So
Yeah, I
now
mean,
you
you-
can misinform the misinformation.
I mean, it's just community notes, but community notes are getting replaced with AI soon. I heard.
I mean, it's all bots anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So AI. Looking
AI Gary Gensler. Cool.
Get Ottawa mic, please.
Do you think that in 2025 we'll see a divergence between S&P 500 and crypto prices?
No, it is one and the same.
Probably not, to be honest.
It is one and the same.
That's a good
forever
question,
now.
though. But
I think S&P go up, crypto go down. Crypto has stopped.
S&P go up, crypto go down. S&P go down, crypto go down.
shit. So yes is the answer. It sounds like that's
Like cycle has stopped as of 4 days ago.
Yes, it's over. Pack your bags. I don't know
It's
what you guys
over.
are
We
doing
are
here.
back in 2028.
8. Well,
Wow.
no, wait. A year before Ethereum updates again. So 2029.
Wait, when
No,
is Ethereum
no.
updating?
Well, they proposed 2030.
They're updating?
Oh,
Well, Beam or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DevCon thing.
Wait. And what's the update? Like, what is the plan update?
I don't remember anymore.
ETH 3.0.
Faster blobs.
Oh, bigger blobs as well?
Bigger, faster,
Stronger
better informed
blob.
AI blobs.
ZK AI blobs.
Better priority fee markets.
The blobularity thesis.
Nice.
You guys
ZK
didn't talk about
consensus.
pump fun, having fun.
Hey, this is not Solana, Vancouver.
What did Pump Fund do?
Oh,
They
just
Had a
made-
lot of
made
fun.
more money than Ethereum? Or?
yeah. Well, it dumped
not
more.
news.
It dumped more SOL than
Oh.
the ETH Foundation has dumped ETH.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wait, Adrian, why is ETH Foundation dumping ETH?
Well, I would tell
'Cause
you.
they
if
have
I
to
knew.
pay the
Well, they have
people
to
in the
pay me,
panel.
right?
But you can get paid in ETH, I heard.
I can't get paid. in it, That's true.
Do you get paid in ETH?
You get paid in ETH?
I don't.
So you are
Oh,
technically
you are part of the
ETH, eh?
problem.
when I can pay my rent in ETH, then I'll get paid in ETH.
No. The thing is that if you get paid in ETH,
You can
and
borrow
dump it,
against the ETH to
it
pay
doesn't
your
look
rent.
bad on Twitter.
So they okay. they
Have
pay me
you
in ETH,
asked
I
your
dump it, right?
landlord if they
So
would
then
accept
you guys
ETH?
can blame
No,
me
no,
instead of
no,
blaming them.
no,
effectively the
no,
same.
If that happens, there's no tweet on like lookout action.
They're
ETH Foundation
decentralizing the
account.
dumping, right? Is that
Yeah.
what you mean?
It's federated dumping. It's what we call democratized dumping.
Yeah. Then.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. After a lot of dumping.
Yeah. It is actually.
Unlike all y'all, I read the transparency reports. That
I
are
read the
a
report
year
as
late,
well. They seem to
Yeah.
have 200 million
That are,
expenses.
well, they're funding. They have
I mean,
almost
there's
too
a-
many teams, but they're funding so many different initiatives, and they only allocated themselves like like I said, less than a 0.25 of the supply, which is actually like much lower than these other projects that spin off a foundation that then print magic internet money and get
Yeah, I mean, it's
and-
actually interesting. If you look at the transparency report and see their annual burn rate, by their current burn rate, they'll be out of like ETH in like
I think it's
2.5 or
5
3 years. 3 years.
Is it- I thought it was like 4.
That's before the upgrade, man.
Yeah, that is before the upgrade.
Well, it also like depends on the ETH price, doesn't it? But I mean,
Yeah.
I do think that like one thing that EF leadership is trying to do is rein in the spending. We can debate whether or not they're doing it fast enough or how they're doing it is right or wrong, but I think they're pretty aware of the problem. But things always sound worse on Twitter than it really is, I would say, and I think,
I thought Twitter was honest.
I
all
thought
the community knows,
Yeah.
right?
So
I think
which-
I think Ethereum Foundation needs to learn from Phantom
Handsome.
and
Like-
just yield farm mainnet.
Oh, I thought you said you meant
Andre
rebrand
So
and
sorry, sorry.
redenominate the
Chain.
token.
No,
token
I meant
split
Tokens.
and rebrand.
I meant
from
Phantom
ETH.
3 years ago when they were down to their last $1 million, and Andre yield farmed the fuck out of Phantom to make like $100 million. Yeah. He saved the whole chain himself, literally yield farming.
One man.
Damn.
Bro literally yield farmed the whole chain and made like $100 million in 6 months. And I think ETH Foundation can just learn from that.
Wait, but if we don't, hold on.
And to have a lot to
So just extract value from all of the projects and users?
Yeah.
not extract value, provide value and get rent.
Buy
ETH
return.
Foundation should just MEV itself.
It's what we call a symbiotic relationship.
I'll give you that they should be LPing for sure
They should be helping.
or staking. Anyway, no, I was just gonna say you can't have both those things. Either the Ethereum Foundation is like an overhang and they have too much of the supply to dump and we don't like it, and they eventually run out and that's bullish, or they continue to provide value and fund these teams and initiatives and research that provides value. You can't say like, oh, they're terrible, but also they're running out of money. So
What if they
we
go
don't-
the protocol labs way, where they decentralize, and instead of having one big team, they now have 100 teams of 8 people each, and they're all separate companies in Panama.
That's what L2s are.
Yeah.
they kind of did that with consensus and.
Yeah, but there's
All
only
twos.
one breakup. What if they just go the full I mean, basically what Protocol Labs did, they have a big ass strategy, like $1 billion or so dollars.
Yeah.
And just broke into 100 and something dev entities. And now they're like a democratized, decentralized, where they fund each of the entities from the treasury. And now it's not there's Protocol Labs doesn't exist anymore. It's just 120 different teams working independently
But they're
with a
funded by the
shared.
same.
They're
You want
funded at the
you
start
want a
by the
much broader FUD surface that
Exactly. No. No.
distribute
No.
it.
This is a much
Democratize the
lower
FUD.
surface because it's not a single
teams can be more
entity.
independent.
It's not a single entity dumping all the tokens. It's a bunch of smaller entities dumping smaller amounts of tokens. So there's no headlines on Twitter.
I see.
Yeah. You're distributing
think
the
that goes
FUD
in-
across. I
That
got
sounds
it.
like
That's very clever.
what the U.S. government does.
Yes. They're learning from the best.
Yeah, and it's just federated. No, I could get behind that. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
either you think that them running out of money is bearish for the ecosystem, or you think they should stick around.
They should stick around, but dump that doesn't make headlines on Twitter. That is
Basically,
all-
smarter dumping.
ZK dumps.
Democratized dumping, so no one knows they're dumping. Like they should dump. I'm pro EF. EF is great. They're dumping, but it just doesn't need to be public that they're dumping.
I think.
Well, I don't even think they've been public about dumping. They just move funds and send it to an exchange. What's happening
Exactly.
there?
Why are they
Yeah.
dumping
No
in
one knows.
centralized exchanges?
Why are they not dumping on Uniswap?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go.
So,
ask
I
the
think-
financial
Adrian.
officer.
Like my understanding is that there's a lot of the issue with the EF is that it's registered. It's actually I think 3 or 4 different registered entities in different locations with actual lawyers and heads of these entities, and unfortunately that means they have to play by the rules of these different countries, right, and regulations.
But
And
like,
that's also
I thought
why-
the blockchain is
But wait.
decentralized.
Uniswap is not illegal in most countries, and EF is
Sure.
not in the U.S. Why isn't the EF using the product they spend every day building on?
You have to ask the lawyer, not me, right? But I just know that there are certain things that they can not do because of their particular maybe entity structure or maybe particular members of the organization. I am not sure, but there are certain legal things that they have to abide by, and maybe it's different for Uniswap. I don't know.
It's the Swiss people, bro.
Yeah.
But,
Also, until recently, they were under gag order and just totally investigated by SEC.
Yeah, like that was
Like
I
all the
think a big
entities
deal.
were under investigation and being having to produce documents, and they couldn't say anything about it for like over a year.
Do EF employees
That's not when you
use
change the
Ethereum?
strategy.
What's that?
That's not, you don't change the strategy when you're under that scrutiny.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I don't think you can. I think like hands were tied essentially because of like a lot of those kind of gag order things like you were talking about.
I thought the whole
And-
point of blockchain was hands could never be tied.
Well, I don't. I think the whole. I don't think that's the whole point of blockchain. I think the whole point of blockchain is to give people the tools to have more sovereignty. That doesn't mean we're not physical beings in a nation state, and we have certain limitations on what we can or cannot do. Right? Not that I'm saying that that's what I want, but that's a reality. I know you're laughing because you're trolling me, but I mean I think sometimes people go to an extreme into thinking like, oh, this is crypto, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want. But I mean like, let's grow up a little bit. Like we still need to like do certain things, otherwise people do get thrown in jail, like for better or worse, whether or not it's right or wrong, as we can see from the wall. There's like many different things that go into a lot of these decisions, and I think it's easy to
Referring to the Bored Apes.
complain. Ross is got some issues still, obviously. But yeah.
Read it. Read it.
Says, Decontrol Van, it's from Ross. Thank you for the uplifting messages and encouragement during the holidays. May your community flourish in this new decade. With respect, Ross.
Yeah, so I think there's trade-offs to everything, right? So, there are ideals for things that we want, but at the same time, we can only do so much. We're still human. We're not AI agents yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, but maybe one day.
We're getting pretty close to 8 o'clock here, so we should probably wrap it up soon. Any final comments from you guys up here, or any final questions, comments from you guys out there?
What's gonna be the breakout to earn app this cycle?
Yoga to earn?
I've seen a lot of.
What's the guys? Have you heard of Puff to Earn?
Yes.
I bought two. I bought two.
Have you gotten them yet?
I ordered a custom skin as well for 0.2 ETH. Anyways.
Wow.
And I can delegate it to one of you guys.
You should tell them you should tell them they need
Wait,
a Zelic audit.
Pardon?
You should tell them they need a Zelic audit.
They didn't do
hardware
Zelic
audit.
I mean, I
They
think
need one.
I think haven't done audits yet.
Oh no.
We're talking to them.
Oh no.
So if they haven't done it yet,
I'll
they,
text the
like,
founder. I'll text the founder.
Yeah, like your puffs may not be very secure.
The
saying.
delegated proof of puff is not working.
Yeah.
There's gonna be TikTok videos like, oh my god, give this to your friend in the bathroom and get tokens to. It's gonna be like a TikTok MLM. Anyways,
Wow.
It will be pretty funny to watch. This
I've also seen Jerk to Earn, but
Okay.
I have used it as well.
Proof of jerk.
When did you buy it there?
I've retained.
Jerk to Earn is
Wait, is that what Owen was talking about, the Chinese site earlier?
Jerk to Earn is unfortunately a real thing, and it is actually Chinese.
Full circle. You can end it there, Christian.
All right. Yeah, I think we're done here, guys.
Jerk to Earn has very interesting custom vibrators.
All right, we're still talking about jerk to earn.
You've seen them, right? Yeah. They're cooking. They're cooking up there.
All right.
Yes.
There's a POAP on that black little poster next to the doodle there, and you tap your phone on it to get your POAP, and Tangle will be really sad if you don't do it. He puts a lot of effort into getting those POAPs every week. So
I help with that as well.
but you're not as sad as he is. I'm saying. Yeah, a lot of people work hard to make this happen. Actually, it doesn't just like magically all appear. But anyway, thank you for being here. Good night. See ya.
Yeah.